Hey, what is up, guys? Sorry if I sound a little bit groggy. It's just because I've got a bit of a sore throat and I've had that for a few weeks. So apparently it makes me sound like I have a deeper voice, but I just think it just makes me sound a bit more like spaz. Anyways, after seeing that god awful 60 card build that I built last time, I decided to tweak it to be more of a going second and actually a bit more competitive build of Lightsworn. So it can actually survive in tournaments a lot better and get to your combo pieces. Well, give you the resource so you can get to your combo pieces, and so you can sort of outgrind your opponent if you have to go second. Well, most of the time you do actually want to go second with this because, as you can see, it runs a lot of hand traps. So let's get straight into it. I run 3 Droll and Lockbird. I run this over Ghost Ash for 2 reasons. One, I'm too poor to own Ghost Ash, and 2, in my eyes, I think it is a lot better than Ghost Ash because of the Tricksters. Just negating one card that searches from Tricksters isn't really the best thing because they'll just change hand summoning and then completely go off still. While if you use Droll and Lock, it just completely stops them. And I've noticed because it stops your opponent from drawing cards as well, because that's a form of adding cards from deck to hand. So it kind of messes up the Spellbook Rudra combo, or whatever it's called now. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head, but I actually believe this is better than Ghost Ash in some circumstances. But if you prefer running Ash over this, you can. It's just my personal preference on it. 1 Eclipse Wyvern. I tried this out at 2. Didn't really need it because I drew into my Judgment Dragons more often than not. So this is just to make sure that I actually have at least 1 Judgment Dragon that I can get to in case the other ones get milled. 2 Fairy Tale Snow, because these cards are just amazing. Your opponent goes into their extra monster zone and you just use Fairy Tale Snow to set it. They just get shut down. 2 Felice. I would run this at 3, but unfortunately only triggers off monster effects. 2 Gamma Zeal, because Masterpiece isn't bound yet or even hit, so it's my out 2 Masterpiece. Firewall in case of Stargrail combos where they just shit out everything and you just need to out at least one of their firewalls because you bait out the other. 3 Ghost Ogre because it outs to Diagram, and any of the Stargrails that trigger is basically just there to clear stuff off the board. I kind of liked running 3 of this because also I can actually normal it as a tuner if it's very, very necessary for me to do that, but most of the time it's just an amazing hand trap that actually gets rid of a lot of problem stuff. Goblinberg, because I mainly use this to get rid of the Felice or Wolf out of my hand. It's absolutely amazing. You can just summon Felice, Wolf, big ass or big attack and just get rid of problematic stuff, or just go straight into your Minerva. 3 of the boss monster, because why wouldn't you run 3 Judgment Dragon? This card just says, let me purify the land and cream your opponent's ass into the dust. So, yeah. 3 regular Lumina, because it's absolutely amazing. You can just bring back the stuff that you've discarded, which half the time I end up bringing back Raiden or Felice, because it's just amazing. 3 Twilight Lumina. This is really, really good with Snow, because you'll use Snow to get rid of lots and lots of Lightsworns, and then this just keeps on bringing them back. Unfortunately, unlike its other counterpart, you cannot bring back itself, which makes me sad, because that'd be amazing. Banish Twilight Lumina to like get 3 monsters for free. Freaking awesome. And its effect also triggers to mill 3 when another Lightsworn activates its effect, so I could just use Lumina's effect to discard and target, and then use this as effect to mill, which is absolutely amazing, especially if you hit Wolf or your Trick Clown. 1 Maxi, even though this is a 45 card deck, it's still useful to run Maxi. I'd run it at 1, run it at 2 if it was 2, run it at 3 if it's 3, but this is just at 1, so I will always run it, no matter what size my deck is, just in case. 1 Performer Pal Trick Clown, I was tempted to run this at 2, but half of the time it just ended up clogging, and if I ended up milling 2 in the same turn, it just didn't help my players at all. So if this was the 60 card variant, I'd actually be running 2 of these because more chance of hitting it, but since it's not 60 card variant, you only really need to run 1. That's all you really need to hit. If you've hit 1, you can still go into your combos and make lots and lots of nice stuff. 3 Raiden, probably the best normal summonable monster, seconded to regular Lumina. 3 Wolf, because this is the better out of Felice, because at least this triggers off charge and solar recharge. 2 Charge of the Light Brigade, because it's amazing. It's such as whatever you want. And I had to tell my friend this, but for some reason he didn't know this can actually set Twilight Lumina because it's got Lightsworn in its name. So 2 Dark Hole, again, since this is a going second build, I run Dark Hole. 1 Foolish Burial because send Wolf, send Trick Clown, whatever. Reinforcements of the army, this gets to my Goblinbergs or Raiden. Most of the time I'm going to Goblinbergs because it can make free first turn Minerva. 3 Solar Recharge because this is better than Pots of Greed for this deck. 1 Soul Charge, never really used it that often. If I ever did, it was because I was already winning and I just wanted to win harder. 2 Twin Twisters because it's just amazing. Just blow up your opponent's back row. The only time you don't want to do that is if it's True Draco. But I hate that deck anyway, so it's just me. And 1 Treacherous Trapple. This is the target for a Falsia. I mainly end up using this as like a pseudo Diamond Dire where if I go Rafalsia on my turn, I'm attempting to OTK, I'll use its effect to send Treacherous to pop itself and an opponent's monster. And if I don't end up doing that, sometimes I just go first turn Rafalsia. The extras, I only run 1 Link monster, and that's in the form of Decode. I tried to run Firewall, but I never used it. I really didn't. If I ran more Link monsters, that would only be for the reason of me maybe in the future using Ghost Reaper. 1 Michael because banishing stuff. When was that ever a bad thing? 1 Omega because it returns back to the regular monster zone after during your next standby phase. 1 Scarrite. I've actually used this as a pseudo cowboy in some circumstances when I haven't been able to get my opponent, and then I just synchro Scarrite, blow up half my own stuff, and end up burning them for game. 1 Abyss Dweller. This is for Mirror Match because it's absolutely amazing. Yes, I actually had a mirror match of very bad Lightsworns at my locals, and I actually just won because of Dweller. He just couldn't use any of his grave stuff, so it was amazing. Castell, I'm kind of on and off with this card because it kind of just sits there in the extra monster zone unless I've got Fairy Tale Snow in the grave. 1 Dante because it mills 3, that's the only reason. Direwolf because it clears itself from your extra monster zone and pops something else, so then you can go into Minerva after if needs be. Levier because the stuff that gets banished from Snow and Twilight Lumina can just be easily brought back. 2 Minerva, I was actually tempted to put this to 3 because of the Lithus, the Earth True King, because at locals when I tested this, my opponent ended up banishing my second Minerva and I really, really needed to go into an additional Minerva, so there was a small part of me that wanted to run 3 Minerva just in case that happened, but most of the time you don't actually need to go into the second Minerva, only if they end up killing the first one or kaiju it. The Utopia package because regardless whatever the circumstances, I will always run Utopia in this, just for the sole fact of, again, snow away my extra monster zone, make Utopia the lightning, beat my opponent into the ground. Phantom Knight of Breaksword, this is basically same again with Diamond Dire, it pops itself and clears away your opponent's crap. And Trap Tricks Rafflesia, which is absolutely amazing. I will always run this in this, because even if I end up milling the Treacherous, I can use Omega to put it back later. It's one of those monsters where it's really, really good early game, and it can be actually good during mid game because it's a Direwolf if you've already gone through your Direwolf. So it's debatable, but I actually prefer running it over other stuff. So that's it for the extra deck. For the side, this is my personal preference. You don't have to run what I run. I just kind of like running these because they help further me in many of game states. 3DD Crow. This is mainly for dinosaurs and the occasional mirror match. Gokai to an extent is really useful and really, really versatile for situations. I don't always see that I need to side in all the time. It's just one of those cards where, depending on the game, it's really, really good. 3 Denko Sekka because you go up against Paleo and you auto win if you normal this. It's just amazing. Gandala and Commongerus, these are just extra kaijus in case I go up against Masterpiece deck. I just have more kaijus to out stuff. one Raikou because I actually had a spare slot that was initially original Minerva, but I couldn't figure out what to put in, so I just kind of put the Twilight Raikou in because at least this one triggers when it's normal summon, so it's all right. I would have loved it. I would have loved it if it just said when this card is summoned or flipped. It would just be amazing because then I would be able to go limit plays. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine as one off. Two Kaiju Slumbers, more board wipes because amazing, and if you mill it, you get free search during your next turn. The third Twin Twisters, this is just again debatable option, depending what you're going up against. Paleo or some really back row heavy decks is absolutely amazing. And then three Anti-Spell Fragrance. This is mainly for magicians because no matter what people have said at my locals or any other place that I've gone to, I still believe the deck is going to be good during Link format along with Zephyra because I've played against the Link versions of them and they do perfectly fine. So Anti-Spell actually will help me in a certain way. So thanks guys for watching. If you have any opinions on this or just want to tell me that this version is absolute garbage in comparison to the other ones, please say in the comment section below. But if not, I'd like it if you give me a thumbs up if you really like this deck and want to see any other decks like this in the future. I'd greatly appreciate it.